just like de facto hosting everywhere I am now. Because, okay, I really love comedy, but I will say the most common thing that comics say after I do an open mic is like, you have great stage presence. And I'm like, I don't think that that's about my jokes. I think I just like used to be an acapella. And so I'm ready. But that's not the same as writing good jokes. But I was recently at a wedding, as recently as 2 days ago, though it feels like yesterday since all I've done is sleep. Not because I was drunk, I was exhausted emotionally from having to be a bridesmaid. Has anyone been a bridesmaid? We don't have to clap, it's not that fun, you know? I was at the rehearsal dinner, which was on Lake Michigan on a boat. You know, people are doing things on boats now. They're doing weddings, this was just the rehearsal. It's like, what are we rehearsing? We're going to be on land. But, so we're in the lock, but no one realizes it because they're all in from California, right? So the lock in Lake Michigan is when you're waiting for up to 45 minutes to get from the river to the lake and then again. And we pretend it's not happening, but it's very claustrophobic. So in the midst of that, the bride was like, I feel like it's a good time for speeches. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she looked at me and said, can you just do this? And she didn't say words. She said, can you just do this? And I was like, what? And then I looked at her mother who was holding a microphone like she had never seen a microphone before. And she's like, announce everything. So I became the MC of the rehearsal dinner. I do comedy, right? And I've hosted shows. So I was like, all right, keep it going for Chris. You know, best man, we love it. Next up, we have the bride's family. And I killed, and I didn't have a speech, right? I wasn't supposed to do a speech, so instead I did 5 speeches, you know, in between each set, and I was just like, I've known her since I was 5. And then they met because of me. I'm going to heaven, you're welcome. And it is true. The thing is, they did meet because of me, and in Judaism, you get into heaven if you set up one couple, okay? But I've set up like 10. So how much leeway do I have? You know what I mean? What can I do on this earth that is so bad that the 10 will work against me? It's a lot of entries to heaven anyway. So finally we got out of the lock, and that was when the family was doing a choreographed dance number. Let me tell you, this was So You Think You Can Dance, the wedding. And they could dance, okay? The parents were competitive ballroom dancers, and she's been a dancer her whole life, and he, by association, learned how, I guess he already knew how to high jump. I mean, his kicks were impressive. There was not one, but 4 different choreographed dances as part of this wedding, I know, and I was in one of them. Ooh. I know. No, it's okay, I was a Zumba instructor. I feel like I'm recruited to be a bridesmaid because I have a certain set of skills. Like, I bring camp counselor energy to pretty much every room. And you would think we folk dance, we do the Horah, which is just kind of like grapevine in a circle. It's a lot more than that. It's an embodied practice. It's a lot of work. And it's not 5 minutes. They like to do it for like an hour. 45, no, I'm serious. Like, that's a marathon. I brought a different dress. I knew. I was like, after I put everything I have into the Horah, I'm gonna have to change who I am and my identity. And I didn't look like a bridesmaid anymore, and I was really happy about that because the dresses were green and we were in a forest, so I felt like a tree. We drove to Lamont. Turns out that's the farmland. And her photographer was the kind of like indie photographer that is, you know, is only gonna get one good photo of you walking down the aisle. You know, so I had to smile the whole time, like. And then people were like, you look like you're having a great time. I was like, no, I knew she wouldn't get a good photo of me otherwise. So this woman was like, okay, everyone, put your bouquets in the air. I want one of the negative space. What does that mean? Watch that be the best one. I think a lot of my friends are settling down. Some are settling, you know, in general. In this case, they were settling down. I'm very happy for them, and once again, they're welcome. I am not ready for that. I was at this wedding, and sometimes you get FOMO, like, oh, wish it was me. And instead, I was just like, there was no person I've ever dated I could imagine doing any of this with. 1, they have no friends. 2, they don't talk to anybody. How would this work? I also want a flash mob. And I was just like, I'm gonna have to take auditions now for my future husband. It's So You Think You Can Dance, the life. All right, thank you so much. I'm Rebecca Jones.